Stephen Chow's movies from 90s to now and its influence on Hong Kong people. King of Comedy in 1999. Fights Back to School in 1991. The God of Cookery in 1996. These movies are all classic and funniest movies acted by Stephen Chow. You can always hear people talk about them when they are talking about Hong Kong movies. Stephen Chow's movies represent the characteristic of Hong Kong movie and spread Hong Kong's unique culture and lives. Also, these movies become collective memories of 80s and 90s people in Hong Kong, even people in the world who love watching Hong Kong movies. In this digital storytelling, I would like to introduce Stephen Chow's movie and influence of his movie on Hong Kong people. Stephen Chow, born in 22nd of June in 1962 in Hong Kong. He is not only an actor, but also a writer, a film director, a film producer, and a political advisor of CPC Conference. Most of Stephen Chow's movies are funny and full of creativities. Many famous prospects and golden scripts are come from his movies. Take All for the Winner as an example. One of the famous prospects in the movie is that Stephen Chow was pretending a very good gambler, and he was talking about the methods that turned him from a normal man into a good gambler in front of the camera. Many comedies and people take it as a reference to create and produce many funny videos because this plot is very exaggerated and makes the audience laugh. This movie talks about a man discovers that his dumb, lovable nephew can see through objects and decides to unleash him into the world of gambling. This movie became a classic movie among Hong Kong movies. A movie called Stephen Chow called A Chinese Odyssey, Pandora Box is also one of them. This movie talks about the fantasy adventure about the arrival of Buddhism in China, when the goddess of happiness tosses the longevity monk and his disciples out of heaven. The Monkey King is recorded as the Joker. He spends his time chasing two jealous women. When one of them is dying, the Joker goes back in time in order to save her. Due to the popularity of this movie, it produced the other two chapters. One is Cinderella and the other one is Time's Flight Back, which produced in 2016. The characteristic of this movie is that it turns a classical Chinese novel, which named as Journey to the West, into a funny and creative comedy. The characters in the original novel and the disposition of the original characters are changed, and it also adds new characters into the movie. This is the reason why people love this movie. Stephen Chow's movies became very successful in the 90s and got many awards. The Final Combat in 1989 and All for the Winner in 1990. Fight Back to School in 1991 became Hong Kong's top-grossing film of all time. In 2004, his film Kung Fu Hustle grossed over $106 million all over the world. Although most of the Stephen Chow's movies are comedies, there are always different meanings and messages behind them, and also it gave Hong Kong people a way and a space to release their stress from lives and also collective memories. Have you ever heard a sentence, "If we don't have a dream in life, we'll look like swordfish"? This famous sentence came from the movie Shaolin Soccer. Although this movie has produced since 2001, the sentence still be remembered by many people and has been used for many times in other videos, writing, novels.
连鞋都没有，那不就咸鱼一条喽？学人家讲理想，
话不能这么讲，我心中一团。
Furthermore, Stephen Chow's movies ironize the reality of Hong Kong society in the 1990s. The characters in his movies are almost poor people, people who always failed, people who always live at a basic level. This shows that why people love Stephen Chow's movie and they still be remembered by people who is 80s and 90s. It reflects Hong Kong society's reality and what Hong Kong people want for their dream. In the 1990s Hong Kong, there is economic disaster, polity changes, many social problems happened in Hong Kong. Movies became popular among Hong Kong people. Even people at the basic level in the society can enjoy these activities. Although the story plots in Stephen Chow's movies are very exaggerated, it uses humorous approach to reflect and show the negative side of Hong Kong. However, people can release their stress from life because they think that there are people understand their hard lives. As a result, it becomes the collective memories of Hong Kong people because most Hong Kong people have watched Stephen Chow's movies. Hong Kong people become more unity and have a stronger sense of identity recognition.